Since 2013, even after the promulgation of the constitution, of the new constitution, and then it took a little bit where everybody got into tow, governors, senators, county assembly, then started and practiced the mandate up until 2026. Let's hear from you. What would be your scorecard, 1 to 10 in this case? Let's go with 10 being the best, in terms of how devolution has been practiced under the current administration and not the administration before.
Okay. Out of a score of 1 to 10, I think I would give it a generous 6. And I say generous because it's still a low score. You have to understand that the way you framed your question, you're putting the onus on the current regime to do what it needs to do to empower and have functions devolved. In terms of whether devolved functions, for example, have been effectively devolved, I would say not quite. We are in a low 4 to 5 because we still have a lot of functions that have remained in national government. And when that happens, of course, resources don't follow the functions, and then you have a scenario where counties are expecting to undertake their constitutionally mandated functions without resources following. That becomes a key talking point. And you have really key areas such as healthcare, roads and infrastructure, all these things, which if funds don't follow, then you have an issue with that. So I would score it a low 6 in terms of overall view, but on specific sectors, you can then score. If it's healthcare, probably a 4, if it's infrastructure, and so on and so forth. We had a state of address from the Council of Governors just the other day. And of course, the trouble with that is that it's a snapshot of where devolution is holistically, sort of an aggregated view, which can also be misleading because when you take a mean score of devolution, you have counties which are performing better than others. You have counties that are doing better in own source revenue than others. If you take Kiambu, for instance, it scores very well when it comes to own source revenue, and others not so much. And others have an unfair advantage. If you take Narok, for instance, they have national parks. So the own source revenue is going to be much higher. Same case as Nairobi. So in ballpark, I think in the last 13 years, you can say, yes, devolved services have come closer to people, and that's a win. Now, whether that has been effective and efficient, that's up for discussion.
Kevin, I want to ask the question then.